Hi guys, Eileen Forte here from PaleoSimplified. You all know that when I give workshops, one of the things I talk about, in addition to being paleo, are superfoods. And one of my favorite superfoods, and the thing I really recommend the most, I think one of the most beneficial foods to eat, is a coconut. And I make my own coconut milk because I don't like all the ingredients that you find in the containers. You find carrageenan very often, which we know can contain MSG, and we find cane syrup or sugar. So I just make my own, and the best thing about making your own is the way it tastes is light years better than what can ever come out of the container. Now, I'm not saying if you're not going to make your own coconut milk, I'd rather you had the milk from the container, but this is fresh and all the nutrition is still here. It's raw, it's wonderful. So the first thing I want you to know is how to pick a coconut, because when I first started, my goodness, I sure had my share of picking wrong ones. And this is one I just picked up at the local grocer. And the first thing I do when I pick it up, I don't know if you can hear that, but I shake it. And if it's not, it should be heavy for its size, and it should have plenty of liquid inside. If it doesn't, it's not fresh. Some places sell the coconuts already partially scored. I don't like to do that either. You don't know what kind of bacteria or opening you get in there. It's just, personal preference. But it's so easy to open, and when you see how, hopefully that you'll feel encouraged enough to go ahead and do this yourself. So that's my first test, is the shake test. The second thing I do is smell it. I've learned that smell when a coconut is moldy or not fresh, and you just know it right away. It shouldn't have any smell. It could smell woody or earthy, but it should never smell moldy. So I just go ahead and smell it, and I mean, really, use your nose. The tools I use to make my coconut milk are things you can find around your home, except for one item. So let's just explain what I have. I have a drill. It's a cordless drill. You can use a corded drill, whatever. I use a drill. You don't need one. You can use a corkscrew. You can use a nail. Anything you need to puncture the top of the coconut, because you want to get the coconut water out. You don't want to lose that. I use a drill, and I got a very cheap bit that I bought at at Lowe's. It was $1.99. It's a wood bit. I got the 1/4 inch size. You can pick it up anywhere, and it is a stainless steel bit. So I have that. The second thing, of course, you're going to need is a hammer. You don't need one of those big, we're not doing that to the coconut. It's really easy to open. It's just going to take a couple of taps. You're going to see. And I've opened up many, many. And I have my clients who open them up, and they're all ages and all sizes, and everybody opens their coconut. So just a good hammer that I really use just for my coconut. And the third thing that I highly recommend, and I actually tell you don't open it without it, is this thing right here. This is called the coconut tool, and you can purchase it from thecoconuttool.com. It was invented by a chiropractor who, I think it's ingenious. I highly discourage the use of using a straight knife, because if that knife slips, there's some real damage going on there. So this is not as sharp. It's blunted, it's strong, it's sturdy, it's got a good grip, and I recommend this tool at every workshop I give where I'm talking about using the coconut. So thecoconuttool.com, I think they're about $18, well worth the investment. If you buy two, I think the second one's cheaper, something like that. So it's a tool you need. Okay, so what do I have handy? I use a Vitamix. I also recommend the Vitamix. I don't have stock in either company. The Vitamix is a very powerful food, blender. It's commercial grade, and it makes the job real easy. If you don't have Vitamix, okay, fine. Then you can use a bullet or whatever it is you use, but just cut the pieces smaller. Okay, that being said, let's just go ahead and open it. So at the front of the coconut, I'm going to show you, there's these 3 dots. 1, 2, 3. One of them is always really soft to go through. The other 2 are a little bit tough. So I'm just going to take my drill, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the coconut on the counter, so I've got a steady base. I'm not holding it in my hand, going like this. It's just steady, and the 3 holes are on the top. I take my drill, And I carefully just go straight. This one I don't even have to turn on, it's going to go right through. I don't know if you could hear that sound it made because it was breaking the air seal in there. So that was one. See how easy that went into. This is two. And this is the third one. And you want to do three because it makes it easier to get the liquid out. I just take my Vitamix and I turn it upside down and I let the coconut drain. I always find there's an angle, and you see how, I don't know if you can, I hope you can see it, the coconut water in there is clear. There it goes. There's always an angle that makes it come out faster. So there you go. Some of them are larger, some of them have more milk, water than others, and I mean, so far so good, right? You can do it. And you can see the coconut water's in there. You got a good amount in there. The next part is the part that I guess is most scary for people. And it really shouldn't be. But this is the time I put the 3 holes away from me. So the lines kind of run horizontally. And you don't need a lot of power. You don't need a lot of strength. You just have to hit the right spot. So I'm going to teach you my little trick. And then I have one at the end too if all else fails. So listen carefully with your ears, and you're going to hear like a high-pitched noise when I tap lightly, and then you're going to hear a low-pitched noise. That's what we're looking for. So let's just listen. See how that got higher? And you just hit it around, and then you're going to hit a spot, which is actually the first spot I hit, which is a low spot. Did you hear that? It's lower, higher. I'm not hitting it harder. Lower. It's that low spot that you want to tap because that's where the weak point is and it's going to crack. At least that works for me. So to me that's a low spot. Also, I don't use the blunt of the hammer. I kind of use the edge a little bit there and it just makes it easy. I usually can get it open in about 3 taps, but we'll see because I'm on video. It'll probably be stubborn. So there's my thud point. See? That's also right around here. See high? Low. Okay, so that's where I'm going to hit it. Okay, so a couple of taps. Good taps, but I'm holding it in my hand. My hand's not on the counter. They're up in the air. Okay, so 1. Okay, well, so much for 3 bloody taps, right? There it is. It's cracked. You see? But it really didn't take supernatural strength. And then I'm just going to follow it around the whole way. And it should be cracked. And there you go. Okay? Nothing miraculous. It took a little bit longer than usual because I'm doing it on video, and of course it's going to do that. So here it is. It's really, see all that nice white meat, nothing slimy inside. It's slimy, it's not fresh. So the next thing we're going to do is get the meat out of the coconut. And I'm going to put that also in my blender. This is where I use my coconut tool. So I want to get to a point where you can see what I'm doing here. Between the shell and the meat is this line. All I'm going to do is take this really terrific tool, hope you can see it, and I'm going to go in between and just wiggle it in there a little bit. Takes a little strength, and then just give a little flick with my hand, and like away from you, away. So I stick it in a little bit, and you know, some coconuts really are easier than others. That's the truth of it. And I don't try to get it out in one piece because I don't want one piece in my blender. But this is probably a large size if you don't have a Vitamix. And even with a Vitamix, I'll cut this in half. Now on the back, you see the brown here, but it's not black, by the way. If it's moldy, it'll be black and it'll smell not so good. But it's soft. This isn't that's not the shell. It's just part of the coconut. And what I'm just going to do is just take my knife and cut it into 2 or 3 pieces. Boom. So that's what it looks like inside. You can see the shell. And I'm just going to go around the rest of the coconut. And I was going to cut it, but you see how easy this comes out? You know, for time's sake, so you're not watching me do the whole coconut and getting bored to tears, but I really want you to see how long it takes and how easy it is. So I'm just getting these chunks, sticking them in. Again, I hope you can see that. I don't want to make it so you can't see it. So, and with the tool, really, it makes quick work of it. A knife, I think, would be very dangerous. It doesn't bend. Runaway coconut. It doesn't bend, and you know, you can really hurt yourself. So please, if you do this, it's well worth the investment. There you go. Got the coconut piece. And I just have the center left. So that's the center left. And I'm just going to take this, and I'll probably get that out in one piece, just to, hopefully in one piece. I'll just get underneath it. Stick it underneath. But you see, because it's bent, okay? Because it's bent, it follows the shape of the coconut. And you can see how soft this is. I mean, I'm just cutting it easily with a knife. There we go. And then I do the other half. Now I'm going to have to probably step away from my video. What I'm going to do is go over to my sink, which is just here to my left. And I'm going to cover the coconut just to above it with water. So there we go. See? I just covered the coconut with water. I'm going to pause this because what I'm going to do is put a lid on it and take it over to my Vitamix, which is over there behind me. And I'm going to process it for about 15 seconds. Okay, so I just took it behind me and I processed it in my Vitamix, and it's just all creamed together with the water that I used to cover it. The other thing I'm going to use is a bowl to catch the liquid, which is your coconut milk. And I use a flour sack towel, and you can use an undershirt, anything clean, an old sheet, an old cloth diaper, whatever, as long as it's clean. And the reason I use this instead of cheesecloth is because you can only use the cheesecloth once, then you have to throw it out. And this you can use over and over again. So let me just rinse my hands real quick. And I just take the whole thing and I just dump it right into the cloth. Now let me show you what that looks like. It's thick. It's got the coconut in it. Can you see that? Okay. When I do this, and I'm not explaining every step, it takes me about 2 minutes to make coconut milk. I'm going to gather the cloth, because what we're doing is we're straining out the fiber that's left over. And I'm going to pick this up so you can see. See that coming out? Just give it a light squeeze. That's the coconut milk. I mean, that's it. And I'll show it to you because I'll pour it into a big thing. And I just squeeze out, just like if you've watched the video where I make the almond milk. From here on, it's really just the same process. I just, with clean hands, am squeezing out all the liquid I can, you know, from the fiber that's left. There we go. It's a little bit of work. I'm not going to say it's not, but my gosh, is it worth it. So that's it. We're done. I'm going to open this up for you so you can see what's left. Hopefully I won't dump it all over the camera. Okay. Whoop. All right, can you see that? Get nice and close. That's the flour that's left from the coconut. I don't use that. Some people do. I find it's too hard for me to digest, and I don't recommend it to my clients. But if you chose to, you just dry it out or toast it lightly in the oven. So look what's left. I'm going to pour it into my jar. I mean, really, that's it. And look how much you get. There you go. That's it. Really thick, creamy, wonderful, yummy, fresh. That's it. That easy. And as I said in my other video, it's so simple. No, I'm not saying that again. Here you go. To your health, coconut milk, homemade by PaleoSimplified.